been over 2 months now since we landed back on Vancouver Island, and as quickly as we'd arrived, it's now time for us to continue on with our adventures. We retrieved our beloved home on wheels after a costly transmission repair and prepare to hit the road and begin our travels to the north. In this leg of the journey, we catch the ferry to the mainland and quickly put that new transmission to the test as we venture up the Crow's Nest Highway, where we camp on an old rock slide before making our way into the Okanagan Valley. We're Alannah, Kyle, and Diesel. Come along for the adventure as we make our way to the Yukon Territory for one of our biggest trips to date. Okay, my friends, today is a good day. Let's go test Walt and see how he's running. Got the warranty and the paperwork. We're crushed financially, but we got our home back, and that's all that really matters. So probably one of the most expensive repairs you're ever gonna make on your vehicle. And you know, if this van wasn't our home, we very well may have not spent that money, right? But it is our home, so we didn't really have a choice. We're gonna take it for a little test drive. We're gonna head back to the cabin. Got a few things to tidy up because after this weekend, we're gonna be moving out of the cabin and we'll be back on the road. Happy to announce that Walter is back in our possession, safe and sound. It's a good day.
So when we built the bench, we ended up just getting a patio cushion from Canadian Tire. It's pretty flimsy and not enough cushion that we really need. Like, we'd be sitting on the bench for a long time and your butt would get super numb. So this time around, we got some memory foam and a custom-made cover for our bench cover. And I think we might just put this in the middle of our seats in the front so Diesel can lay on it. I probably spent hours trying to find a piece of memory foam that actually fit the size that we needed, but it was going to cost so much, so I ended up just ordering one that was longer than needed, and then we'll just cut it to fit to the size that we need. Oh shit! Okay.
Well, just give him the box.
Okay. Wrong one. Okay.
There are no sharp X-Acto knives, so I'm using a saw. And it seems to be doing the trick so far. It's not gonna look pretty, but thankfully you're not gonna see it, so it doesn't really have to look that pretty. Wow.
It literally fits perfectly.
Do the honors?
Wow, well, it fits nice. Okay, that is...
We may not be able to fix the mechanical issues with our van, but we sure as heck can color coordinate it and make it look nice.
It's been nice to be on the island for a couple of months to kind of like slow down, do the build and everything, but between Kyle and I, we were like, you can just feel like we're ready for adventure. We have a lot planned this summer and fall, and we're just like excited to go.
Yeah.
We haven't really enjoyed the extra space since we got the roof installed. It's just been, you know, working on it essentially. So we're definitely, you know, on schedule with everything despite the little transmission hiccup. And, you know, it is what it is. It's our home on wheels. We'll do anything to keep her going. We're just honestly so glad that it really only took a week. So thank you to Campbell River Auto Shop to get this all done for us in a good amount of time.
We've had to get repairs done on Vancouver Island before, and it can take a lot longer, especially when they're getting parts shipped in And it's not just one auto shop, it's a lot of them. It's just a thing where things take longer to get sent here, and it's just how it is. So we were a little bit worried that that would be the case, and it may put us behind schedule with our plans for this summer, but thankfully it's not the case. So we're on track.
It always works out
Yeah.
the way it's supposed to work out.
And we'll be heading up north in no time. Can't wait. That your beaver? You ready to go live in the van again? Yeah. Kind of screwed up a little bit here. When we didn't have the van, I made an upper cabinet, but I forgot to take into account that the side walls are slightly slanted, so now this is just a rectangle box, so it's slightly slanted as well. Therefore, clothes are on a slant, meaning if these aren't locked in very well, clothes are going to fall out when we take a turn too fast. So a little bit of a whoopsie, but here we are. Ready, bud? You ready? Well, my friends, we've another fallen soldier in the vehicle camping world. Used to stay at the pier every now and again, but it appears that there is some big, fresh, no camping or overnight parking signs. So that's never a good sign. And I looked on iOverlander just to see what the issue was. And I guess there was one individual in a dark gray van that came here and set up shop that really alarmed the bylaw officers to come put some signs up. So that's all it takes. That's all it takes is one individual, unfortunately, to do that and think they own the place and ruins it for everybody else. So that's okay. Thankfully, there is still quite a few places around here. It's not the end of the world, but it's just unfortunate. It's such a nice place here. Besides a couple cars coming in and doing burnouts in the middle of the night and some outlandish screaming as well. Other than that, it was a pretty safe place to be. So yeah, unfortunate, but we're still going to post up for a little bit and at least make some dinner and enjoy our lovely view of the Georgia Strait right here in front of us. And there's ice cream.
Chasing that raccoon. Most of all, he was my best friend.
Who needs hot water and soap when you got a couple of these wet wipes here? Alright, we're gonna go up the road a little bit and find camp for the night. When I first drove away from the cabin, I took a turn, as I regularly would, and all the big cupboards just came crashing out. I have locks on them, but they're the dirt cheap ones. So the bottom, the two heaviest drawers do have some bigger, more heavy duty locks on them, and they are good to go. But this top one is one of the cheap ones, and it's just doesn't even lock anymore. It's only been like a week, so I think we might have to fix that today. Wouldn't be too upset if a haircut was in order as well. I don't know, but you tell me those sandhill cranes aren't just modern day dinosaurs. Even just the sound they make, they sound like a pterodactyl. Quality H2O. Now, Alannah had been away for work for the last week or so if you happen to notice that there's points in our videos where she's randomly not with us, that's why. She flies all across Canada, and we can meet anywhere along our travels, as long as there's an airport nearby. We both absolutely love living and traveling in a van together, but hey, if you can imagine living in such small confines with your significant other, all day, every day, the space apart is welcome by both of us. It's healthy, and we come back together with a new excitement to take on the next leg of our travels together.
We literally just got here 2 months ago, totally new build, and here we are packed up and ready to go again. It's like this next chapter. I'm excited just to get back out there again.
Well, I hope I didn't forget anything.
I hope I didn't forget anything. He basically packed the whole van.
I know. Literally, as the boat's about to leave, I'm like, did I leave anything anywhere?
Here we go. We're gonna cruise through Vancouver during rush hour.
Yeah, we did not time this very well, did we?
I've become a backwards vampire feeding off the sun. Ain't bothering no one. All my nights are greasy and all my mornings tend to tease me since you're gone.
Well, this will be home tonight. We are taking a little bit of a different route this time around as we head eastward. This is Highway 3, otherwise known as the Crow's Nest. And it sticks out right away. It's right up, and we're putting that new transmission to the test right away. So this is the first long trip that we've done that's really tested out the repairs that have been done to the van, and we did the full once over, had a professional take a look at everything and, you know, make sure fluids were good, lights, belts, everything. So we got that peace of mind, but, you know, these mountain roads, you never really know what to expect. So we're at a pretty cool spot that we get to call home for the evening. This is the Hope Slide, and a pretty interesting story behind this place that I'll get into a little bit in the morning. But I think we're just gonna turn in, make a quick dinner tonight, and hit the hay because we had a big travel day. Alannah just got back into Nanaimo. We met there to get on the ferry, and we just finished up at work over the last few weeks, and we're back on the road. So it's gonna be awesome. Can't wait for it. This is the beginning of a new grand adventure, and there's no feeling quite like it. It's always just such a nostalgic feel and just such an exciting feeling to get back out on the road and just see what's around the corner. So for now, we're gonna whip up a quick dinner, hit the hay, and we'll carry on in the morning.
Day one in the van, and he's wet and dirty.
Anytime
Hey, jump up.
you seize any road you're on, anywhere you reach, wherever you land, you can call me whenever you want.
Well, we met a couple of the locals this morning, Mariette and Marvin, and they just gave us some well wishes to tell us to be safe on our hike this morning. Because where we are, back in the 60s, there was an earthquake and then a massive rock slide that ensued right after that earthquake. And so actually where the van is parked right now is now nearly 70 meters above where the original valley bottom was. Because when the rocks fell, they fell onto a small alpine lake at the very bottom of the valley, and that mud and soft clay and all that water kind of raced up the adjacent mountainside across the road here and then came back down and wiped out everything in its path. And sadly, during that event, there were people at the valley bottom in their cars, and all of them perished, but 2 of them were recovered, 2 of them were never found. So it's a pretty ominous sight to really think about what happened here. And then later that year, there was actually a plane that crashed into the top of the mountain here. And then another one, 5 members of the Royal Canadian Air Force, they also crashed and got lost in the thick fog that is kind of blanketing the area as we're walking around it this morning. So incredibly beautiful, you know, even with all this moody, misty fog, but such a stark reminder on just how vicious Mother Nature can really be.
The marmots, she's still there on her rock, but the little one's over there, but it's like, it must be a teenager just like not listening to its mother.
Typical adolescent.
Yeah, it's just like hanging out over there.
And then there's this one, the forever adolescent that only listens when there's food involved. Good thing you're cute. Come on, champ. Let's go. Let's get on the road. Shall we eat?
We're here?
Yeah, please. Eating. Perfect. Just on that door.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you?
9.
Yeah, I'm in like a 9.5.
If you round up, it's like a 10.
Yeah.
We have some groceries, but it's not really enough to suffice for a meal, and it's like a rainy day, driving day, so we'll just grab some brekkie and then get back on the road. We're heading towards the Soyuz, so I don't know if we're gonna make it there today or we'll find somewhere to camp before we actually get to a Soyuz. We're still in the mountains, so it's quite rainy. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like once we're actually in the Okanagan, but we'll see.
Okay, first bite. It's expected to go into town and take advantage of going and using washrooms, of course, but there's something to say for a good hand wash. You don't realize being outside how much you know, touch food and just how quickly your hands get dirty. And then going into a restaurant and having access to soap and piping hot water, it's a good feeling. So bellies are full, coffee for the road, clean hands. What else can we ask for? Maybe some nicer weather, but honestly, in this part of BC, having a little bit of rain, not a bad thing.
My baby, she's a green light. Ain't never seen a stop sign. Umbrella in a rainstorm. A cup of coffee when the morning comes. She's a chorus of my favorite songs. Smiles when I get the words wrong. Wildflower on the sun.
Hey guys. Hi bud. All right. Have a good day.
All I smell is like fresh water, this mud, and then pollen. Just because it's rain, so everything's just so elevated. It's nice. The first spot we went to is where the cows were, just up the road a few minutes ago. So you kind of go up like a mountain for literally a kilometer. But there were probably like 15 trucks and a group of people overlooking the mountain, so we weren't really sure what was going on. And so we wanted to be a little bit closer to water. So we just went down the road a little bit, and this is
This'll
much
do.
better.
Yeah, it looked like a ceremony or some sort of gathering was
There was
happening.
birthday balloons.
Yeah, I like to think it was a good ceremony and not some sort of cult gathering, but there was balloons, so I guess you could use balloons in either of those applications. Come on, bud.
Come on up. Come on. I'll let you guys go ahead because all the rocks are just sliding into me. For the last few weeks, I've been traveling a lot for work, and so while the van's been in the shop, I've been away, and Kyle's been loading up the van, putting things where it needs to be. So before I left, I put a couple things away, but now I have to really organize all my things. I have my carry-on, my backpack, just my work belongings. I need to find out where I want to put my clothes and just all the miscellaneous things. So I think we're gonna just take some time and reorganize some things, find a home for everything, just so it stays as organized as possible. Obviously, living in a vehicle doesn't always turn out that way, but right now I don't really know where anything is. So I am relying on Kyle to remember where those things are so I can navigate as I'm in there.
It's organized chaos.
It is. It's actually not that bad, but we just need to find a spot for everything.
I know I've said this before in previous videos, but every time you stumble across a new campsite in a cool spot and it's yours and there's nobody else here, and that feeling never really gets old. There's still that like giddy feeling of coming across a nice campsite that you can just call your home for an evening or two. All across Canada, there's been so many cool spots we've stumbled across, and if you just get out there and kind of search a little bit, I mean, there's so many apps and things that you can go on to, you know, find these campsites that people have already previously found and enjoyed. It's great to use those, but sometimes there's roads leading off and you just got to be curious and just go down them and check them out. I had a lot of confidence in the van prior to the breakdown. And so this was our first real test going up and down these mountain passes. And I was white knuckling a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. Just because it really puts things into perspective when your vehicle, your home, craps out on you. And we said this in the last video, but the fact that it crapped out on us literally right around the corner from where we were staying, there's something to be said for that. If there is a time for that stuff to happen, it was when it did happen. So, you know, it could have been on the Alaska Highway or the North Canal Road, and it would have been a very different story.
Our fridge is full of smoked salmon. And we have some salmon to cook tonight too. But I think we'll enjoy a little step 2 first.
Thank you. Nice work.
Thanks.
Well done, babe.
First meal in the van, officially. There you go.
Thank you. I think we were gifted enough salmon to feed a small village when we left the island, so a big thank you to our friends that gifted us that. We get to have a little taste of the island for the next week or so at least. Hunkering down at this nice little river spot we have here, and I think we might hang out a little bit tomorrow just because we're not in a big rush. Our destination for the end of this weekend is Osoyoos, so the very bottom part of the massive province of British Columbia. And our main goal for this summer travel season is to make it to Yukon Territory. And you'll probably have noticed by this point that we've been carrying around this big red lug of a canoe on the top of the roof. And that is because we have a 15-day trip planned down the Yukon River, which we are so incredibly excited for, just with all the stuff that has happened already with the van acting up and breaking down. And there was even a brief moment where we were almost contemplating not going through with our summer travel plans, which I'm really glad we didn't go through on that negative thought, because even though Vancouver Island is one of the most incredible places in the world, we just have such a fond set of memories that we have from being up in the Yukon Territory. So can't wait to make some amazing memories and videos for hopefully you guys to enjoy and to watch. This is when I feel the most creative and I have the most fun, is when we're visiting new places and just exploring. As you guys know, we were posted up at a cabin for the last couple of months, and to some watching that, that might make us fake van lifers. I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide. But we set out to do full-time travel last summer, and I still think, even though we were posted up for a while, we still are traveling. We're just staying put in spots for maybe a couple months at a time. But the end goal is always to continue on, keep going down new roads and exploring new places, and just keep enjoying life. So it's getting a little chilly. Dampness from the river just creeps up and gets into your bones, even in the summertime. But I think I'm going to head into the van and continue my studies on what we're in for next month. We've noticed previously that it's pretty darn easy to lose routine once you start traveling again. Keeping a routine when every day kind of looks different, it goes out the window pretty fast. So we picked up these 20-pound weights in, I think we're Fairbanks, Alaska last summer, and they got used a couple times, but they're pretty much collecting dust back here. So we figure we've been on the road for a couple days, so we might as well dust them off and give them some use. Up now, eh? Oh, careful, buddy. Careful. This ain't working so well. Now I remember why we don't work out outside. Hang on, bud. Hang on. The trick is to not think about it, but I'm already thinking about it, so I think we just got to do it. Careful, stop, easy. Easy. One day you wake up and all of a sudden you're just really interested in birds, but as fun as capturing birds on camera is, there was like 20 horses, I think, that we saw. Alannah noticed up the river, all crossing simultaneously. And
just
then,
as we're about to leave,
yeah,
we're just like getting ready to go, and then we did see a few earlier, but then there was just a bunch crossing the river. We're like, oh my gosh!
And they all just started running across, like right across the river from where we're camping.
So majestic, and they're so fast.
Yeah, a couple little ones in there too, but super cool. We were just about to leave, and we got treated to a pretty cool show of horses.